So a little bit of good news, if you can call it that. The average price of a gallon of gas has dropped 0.6 of a cent, making the average cost about $6.36 here in San Diego County. For some folks, most folks, filling up the tank is really breaking the bank. It's so expensive. In fact, last night, President Joe Biden called on oil companies to try to boost supply in order to bring the cost down. The executive director of Public Watchdogs joins us now with his thoughts. Charles Langley is here. Hi, Charles. Good to see you. How are you?
Good to see you, Morgan.
So
Great.
Let's give you some credit because you were on, it was about a week ago, and you named a date, and you said you've been watching the prices for, I don't know, 10 or 20 years, and on this date it usually goes down, and I think it did go down about a penny on that day.
Yeah, a penny.
So what day was that?
That was June 9th.
And you thought it would go down a penny, and it did, or at least something. Yeah. It went down. So what's going on here? The president is saying it's the oil companies, they're gouging us, and I talk to friends and they go, maybe it's the gas stations, and then you hear politicians saying, well, it's these taxes on a gallon of gas, and that should be reduced. What are your thoughts?
Well, you could say it's all three, but generally speaking, the oil companies are gouging us. There's something called the crack spread, which is the cost it takes for them to pull oil out of the ground and turn it into a gallon of gasoline. And right now, they're probably making several dollars per gallon on a gallon of gas, at least $2 from what I can tell. So we're going to see some enormous profits and profit reports coming out, in the next quarter, probably this quarter as well. And I think what Joe Biden is doing is saying, hey, you guys need to dial back your profits.
Yeah.
But that's really not the problem. We don't have a problem with there not being enough gasoline or enough oil. There's plenty of oil. The United States is an oil exporter now.
You mean there's plenty of oil in the ground that we just got to get out, or what?
Plenty of oil in the ground, plenty of oil in tanks waiting to be turned into gasoline, and there's plenty of gasoline. There's no shortages here. This is simply about companies raising the price because they can, because it's not a competitive environment.
So what has to happen with all that oil and all that gas available?
Well, I think what has to happen now is what happened in 1901, which is we had Teddy Roosevelt, our president, stepped in, and he broke up the Standard Oil Trust. We've just had that kind of a trust with that kind of market power reemerge as a total of 7 or 8 companies right now that do pack pricing on gasoline nationally. And if they all move together, then you don't have price competition and the price won't go down.
I had some friends talk to me about gas prices, and what it seemed that was happening is Russia didn't invade Ukraine for a while. They surrounded the country, and then all of a sudden they went in, and then 3 hours later the gas prices shot up. And the idea was like, well, wait a minute, the gas at that gas station was purchased weeks ago, probably. Why is that gas now more expensive because of something happened across the globe? It should have taken time for the gas prices to go up if you're blaming Ukraine and Russia.
Well, that was gouging by a retailer. First, we don't get any oil from Russia out here on the West Coast. We just don't. And it takes like 60 to 90 days to get it across the ocean into an American port anyway. So yeah, the idea that somewhere in the Middle East the oil price goes up by $1, that gas prices have to go up accordingly just doesn't make sense.
We were talking to some politicians the other day, and the point was that this gas is essentially all the same gas across the country. We're paying the most when you compare other states. Why are we paying so much? Well, of course, it's the taxes. So if that's the case, why not give us a break? Why won't these legislators just say, all right, we're going to give you a break on the taxes, at least for now?
Oh, we do pay the highest taxes in the country, and they're going to get higher on July 1 because Governor Newsom has imposed a new 3-cent a gallon gas tax. So it's actually going to get worse.
Do you drive a regular car, or do you have an electric car? You're in the gas business.
I wish I had an electric car, but I'm buying gas just like everybody else.
Well, I think we all wish we had an electric car, at least at this point. I mean, my goodness. All right. Well, Charles, good to see you. Thanks for all the input. All right. Hopefully they'll go down. I mean, it's getting crazy out there. All right, Hunter, over to you.